Thank you.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, I'm just returning your call.
Oh, I'm amazed. What I want to find out is if Anna sent me a package, not the one that is coming from Amazon. Because I'm going to have to go out and try and buy masks, but if she didn't.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anna would have to give you a tracking number.
No, it came through the U.S. mail.
It didn't come today.
All right, that's all I was asking.
I already got today's mail. You got one piece of mail from Wells Fargo.
Okay.
Alright, I'm driving,
When you...
so
All right.
I really got to concentrate with one hand.
All right. One hand. Here's the last thing. I am looking for some face masks, just run-of-the-mill face masks. So if you see some, let me know. Bye.
Bye.
Back to Sheriff Daniels, who is going to deputize. Look, he's like, you can't be coming in here. You can't be coming in here and doing what you're doing in all these other cities around the country.
Somebody has to step up in front of the camera and say, enough is enough. Tearing up Clay County, that's not going to be acceptable.
Right, and he has a new plan. He's going to basically, he's going to like double and triple the size of his department.
And I'll make special deputies of every lawful gun owner in this county.
Every lawful gun owner in the county of Clay, which is a lot of people, will be deputized. Should Sheriff Daniels decide that he needs a good idea, bad idea? This is Nick in Clay County. Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my brother. I want to tell you, I am full square behind the sheriff. Absolutely 100%. I've lived in Clay County for 40 years. My home has been built up from scratch, and we enjoyed our life. Little Smoke area of Clay County where I live.
Yeah.
I stand full square behind him. I'm a licensed gun owner, and I will be there if he needs me.
Oh wow, look at that! All right, so you're all about it now. Now let me ask you this: do you have any law enforcement experience at all?
I do not.
Okay, but you don't care. You got the gun, and that's all it takes, according to Sheriff Daniels.
I am locked and loaded, brother.
All right, man. Hey, listen, we if it goes down in Clay County, I'm coming to your house because I feel safe there. And a lot of people are for it. They're like, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that Clay County stays safe. But a lot of folks are saying this is not an acceptable way to do it. And he's basically what he's doing is he's kind of undermining the training that actual deputies get. And because it is a process, you got to learn law enforcement, you got to learn what to do and what not to do, and that deputizing civilians with guns, creating a posse, that kind of thing, should only be done in times of crisis. But I guess that's what he's saying. I guess when he's saying, look, we're standing up. This is the time of crisis, and if you try to pull this stuff here, you're not going to get away with it. Kathy in Middleburg. How are you, Kathy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. What do you think about Clay County Sheriff Darrell Daniels vowing to protect the county by deputizing all the legal gun owners?
I think he's right. He's doing the right thing. We need to get our country back. And just so everybody knows, Clay County is a special place. We don't shoot off fireworks on July 4th. People shoot off their guns on July 4th.
And July 5th, and July 6th, and July 7th, and what's today? July 1st? You know what? Let's just what for the hell of it. By the way, it's July 2nd. That's true, though.
We need to get our country back, and I want to tell you, I'm 49. I've been a Democrat my whole life. But these past 2 years of craziness is making me vote for Trump this
Oh,
time.
look at that.
It's crazy.
I'll fire off my gun for that. There you go. There you go. Hey,
I just can't take the stupidity anymore. I just can't take it.
no, Kathy, we appreciate it, and we'll get you a seat on the train. 855-765-1045. That's I mean, so a lot of people are. Here's the thing about Clay County, and I don't spend a lot of time in Clay County, but the time I do spend in there, here's kind of what I've figured out about it. I don't think the people in Clay County care whether they're deputies or not. I don't think the people in Clay County are going to be like, hey, I have a gun and there's people doing bad stuff in my neighborhood, but I haven't been deputized by the sheriff yet. I'm going to wait. I think they would just, they would do what that guy in St. Louis, Missouri did with his wife. They would walk out there with their AR-15s and their handguns, and they would take, they would, shoot first, ask questions later. That seems to me to be the Clay County motto. 855-765-1045. This is Anthony in Jacksonville. How you doing, Anthony?
Doing good. How are you, man?
Oh, doing great. What do you want to say, sir?
Well, first of all, love your show. Listen to it anytime I get the opportunity and chance.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Chiming in, I'm a former deputy with the sheriff's office there in Clay County.
Okay.
And I can tell you there's no doubt. I think the key point that everybody's got to take from it, he said lawful gun owners.
Correct.
That's the whole point of the First Amendment. And, let's face it, historically speaking, this is all about MAD, mutually assured destruction. And that's why not just America, but so many countries have nuclear power. And, it's that whole, if you shoot, I'm going to shoot. Listen, if you don't shoot, I don't shoot. That's the way that it works.
Right.
If you don't burn my house down, why do I have a reason to come out and even protect anything?
No, that's a great
I
point.
think if they take care of themselves, if they don't do anything, there's not going to be any issue.
Yeah.
And I think if people just stay home,
That's a great point, Anthony. When I was in high school, hey, thanks so much for your call. We appreciate it. When I was in high school, we took a trip to Europe to learn European history. Although I really just hung out in bars because you only have to be like 18 to drink there. But I do remember we got to Switzerland and we got off the bus. The bus pulled into like the bus parking lot. And we get off the bus, and there's another bus that pulls up next to us, and it was a bunch of teenagers getting off the bus, and they all were wearing, like, they had Vans and United Colors and Benetton and all this, like, cool, and they had their backpacks, and they were all carrying what looked to be like M16 rifles. Teenagers, boys, girls, everything. And I turned to our tour guide, I go, why are all these teenagers walking off the bus wearing Vans and carrying machine guns? And she said, oh, because every teenager goes, there's conscription, they go and they learn to be in the army, the Swiss army, and they learn how to shoot a gun. And then they get their gun and they bring it home. So if there's ever, a war, everyone's already to go. And I go, well, is that safe? And she goes, well, there's no crime in Switzerland because everybody knows. Everybody's kid has a gun in their closet. And I go, I guess that's true. You wouldn't break into a house if you knew that every house had a machine gun. We make people get smoke alarms. There's got to be a smoke alarm in every room. Maybe we should have a new law. Maybe there should be guns in every room, too. 855-765-1045. Cynthia in Mandarin. How you doing, Cynthia?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Oh, good. Thanks for calling the Marquet Show. Would you